Hello friends, let us start with the chapter Air Around Us. So here some pictures are shown to us. Observe them carefully. Circle the objects that need air to work. Now you can see a sewing machine first, then a balloon, umbrella, a kite, a toy with TV, a windmill, and an electric iron. So you can just take the ones which need air to work and circle them. Air is one of the most important things that all living organisms need. Without air, there would be no life on earth. Air is all around us. So let us learn some properties of air. So you see that all living things, they require air. You have heard about oxygen. We need oxygen to survive. Without oxygen, without air, we cannot live. So let us learn about some properties of air. The first property that we are going to learn is air has no color. Clean air has no color. Remember, clean air has no color. If it is polluted, if there is dust, a lot of it, a smoke, then you can see some color there. But clean air has no color. How can we test it? Take an empty glass bottle and it is full of air. So hold the bottle in your hand and see your fingers on the other side. This means that it is colorless. The air that is inside is invisible. There is no particular color to it. Air occupies space. How can we show this? Let us do some activity. As we cannot see air, we can say that, can we say that the air occupies space? Let us perform an experiment. Observe this experiment. So there is one activity, a sheet of square craft paper, large and clear glass, plastic container, clear plastic and gas tumbler. Water is there. Fill the container with water. Make a paper boat of a square craft paper. Place the boat on water in the container. Hold the tumbler upside down and plunge it straight down to the container over the paper boat. Push down the tumbler until the boat settles at the bottom of the container. What do we observe? We observe that the tumbler is full of air. Air inside the tumbler prevents water in the container from entering the tumbler. That is why paper boat remains dry. So water level in the container rises. This is because the air inside the tumbler pushes the water out of the way. So observe this very carefully. What does this show you? This shows you that air occupies space. Next, air has weight. So how can we weigh air that you cannot see or touch? So see this experiment. There are two balloons, both filled with air. You just prick one of them. You can see that they are hanging at the same level. When you prick it with a needle, one of the balloon bursts and the other balloon tilts downward. That means what? The air has gone out of the first balloon. As air has weight, the second balloon goes down, and this proves that air has weight. So the stick tips to the side of the inflated balloon. This means that the inflated balloon is heavier than the deflated balloon. Inflated means what? Air is inside. Deflated means what? Air is outside. Indicating that air has weight. The next experiment is about air expanding on heating. So let us see the experiment. So to find out if air expands on heating, you can take a hot water balloon, then empty plastic bottle as shown in the figure. So tie a deflated balloon over the mouth of empty plastic bottle. Place the bottle in the center of the container and wait for a few minutes. So what happens? The balloon begins to inflate. So when the bottle is placed in hot water, the air inside the bottle becomes warm and it starts expanding. So this shows that air expands when heated. Observe the figure carefully. So in the first figure you can see deflated balloon. You place it in hot water. Air inside inflates the balloon. The balloon grows in size. Next is composition of air. So, composition of air. Look at this diagram. You can see 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% argon, carbon dioxide, neon, water vapor. So, what is air? Air is a mixture of gases. Many gases are mixed in it. Majority of them is nitrogen and oxygen. Some amount of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and dust. So air contains very small amount of certain gases like helium, neon, argon, and these are called as inert gases. Now nitrogen. Let us talk about nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas in air, making about 4/5 of the air. It is needed by plants to grow. Oxygen makes only 1/5 of the air. We need oxygen to live. And oxygen also needed to make things burn. So when you burn paper, actually what happens is the oxygen in the air reacts with the paper and then it burns. It doesn't catch fire on its own, but it requires something to burn. Petrol burns, wood burns. Then carbon dioxide. Air contains small amounts of carbon dioxide. Animals breathe out the gas. Plants use carbon dioxide to make their food in the leaves. You might have heard about photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide is a gas that is absorbed by the plants to convert it into food, that is glucose. Remember the word glucose, you might have heard about this. So carbon dioxide warms the air surface by trapping the sun's energy, otherwise the earth would be too cold to support life. So this is another important thing that the carbon dioxide does. When the sunlight enters in the atmosphere, it is trapped by carbon dioxide. It remains here, the heat, and therefore it supports life. To demonstrate that air we breathe contains carbon dioxide, look at the picture here. So you take lime water. Lime water is a chemical, calcium hydroxide. Into a glass bottle, blow air in it. So colorless lime water turns milky. Actually, they react with carbon dioxide. Lime water and carbon dioxide that reacts to produce calcium carbonate, which is white color. So this activity shows that air we breathe out contains carbon dioxide. You have to blow the air many times through this with the help of a straw. And then you can see that the color has changed. Carbon dioxide does not support burning. It is used in fire extinguisher to put out fires. It is used to add fizz to fizzy drink. So maybe some cold drinks you drink, in which bubbles come out, that is the fizz. Pepsi, Coca-Cola. When bubbles come out, actually that is carbon dioxide that is present inside the drink. And if there is a fire, you can put off the fire with fire extinguisher. Red color, you might have seen the cylinder of fire extinguisher. It is used to stop the fire, to put out the fire. Now water vapor, that is a gaseous form of water vapor, and air contains this water vapor, that is called as humidity. When it is humid, air has a lots of water vapor. When there is less, we say that air is dry. We use water vapor for steam cooking various industrial processes. Take a can of juice from refrigerator, wipe it dry, and you'll see water droplets forming on the can. Now from where did this water come? You had taken the can outside the refrigerator, and then water from the surrounding gathers over it. That is because water is present in the atmosphere. When they get a cool surface, they condense on the cool surface. And then we see water droplets there. This proves that water vapor is present in air. Now process of breathing. So when we take in the air, that is called as inhalation, breathing in air. And when we breathe out air, it is called exhalation. So we inhale air rich in oxygen and exhale air rich in carbon dioxide. We breathe through our air through our nose. The air reaches the lungs and exchange of gases. Oxygen is absorbed by the blood and carbon dioxide is given out. The carbon dioxide is removed from the body when we exhale. Different animals have different organs for breathing. Here are the list of animals and breathing organs. Have a look at it. Insects, spiracles, fish gills, earthworm moist skin, whale lungs, frog skin in the water and lungs on land. So frog is the animal which can live inside the water, breathe inside water and also on land. It's called as amphibious. Tadpole has gills and birds have lungs and air sacs. Now here is the deep breathing exercise. Deep breathing is very, very important. Most of you don't know how to actually breathe. To learn deep breathing, imagine that you're holding a flower. Take a deep breath and pretend to smell the flower. Blow out the air like you would blow out birthday candles. Repeat this cycle with a strong inhale and gentle exhale for a couple of minutes. Now, inhalation and exhalation, when done properly, fills ourselves with oxygen. Oxygen is really required for our well-being. Most of the people don't know how to breathe properly. That's why they don't get enough oxygen to the brain and therefore they feel tired all the time. They can't think straight. That's why it's important to learn breathing properly. Start with this exercise 5 minutes a day or 2 or 3 minutes a day at the beginning and gently increase it. That's really important for you to do. As a student, you should know how to breathe. Fill yourself with oxygen. Do meditation and deep breathing every day. Now, process of burning. So, air is needed for burning. Object burn properly as long as oxygen is present in it because it supports burning. Flame goes out when oxygen is used up. Look at this picture. They have shown one activity to show that air is needed to burn things. You take a candle, fix it on the stand, glass and some water. Fill the dish with water, place the candle, light the candle and place the glass over it. After a few minutes, the flame goes out and the water in the glass rises up. What is the conclusion? What do we learn from this? What do we understand from this? The candle uses the oxygen in the air to burn. When all oxygen is in the air is gone, it stops burning. The flame dies out. Fresh air cannot come because of the water. Water rises to fill the space vacated by oxygen, and this shows that the air is needed for burning. So observe this diagram very carefully. Try to understand oxygen is necessary for burning. Without oxygen, there is no burning. Nothing will burn. Now, here they have given some questions. Name the following: the gas we breathe in, the gas needed by plants to make the food, the gas used for extinguishing fires, breathing organs of earthworms, the chemical that turns milky in the presence of carbon dioxide gas. Now, what is air pollution? Remember, contamination of anything is pollution. We see the air, it's clean, it's nice. And when there is smoke and dirt and problems, unwanted substances, that is pollution. So we need to breathe in clean air to remain healthy. Air becomes dirty, and when harmful substances and gases are added to it, this is called air pollution. Polluted air affects the well-being of living things. It affects the growth of plants and damages the lungs of animals. So it is very important to have clean air. Otherwise, it's going to be very dangerous for our health. Air can get polluted by natural disasters like volcanic eruption, forest fires, and dust storms. In recent times, human activities are largely caused by air pollution. Smokes and fumes from vehicular exhaust, factories, and burning garbage pollute air. Now remember, there are two sources of air pollution. One is naturally, you can't do much about it. When a volcano erupts, poisonous gases go into the air and pollute. You can't do much about it. So there are forests in Australia. They catch fire on their own. You are not involved there. And that burns for many weeks, sometimes months. and there is a lot of smoke in the air. You can't do much about it. That is natural source. But vehicular exhaust, factories and burning of garbage, that is what we humans do it. And we contribute to the smoke and fumes that is there in the air. And the problem is that we are breathing in air. We cannot stop the breathing, the air that is going inside us. We can see clean water, we can see dirty water and choose the clean water from the dirty water. Okay, we can choose the water that we drink. We can choose the place where we live, but we cannot choose the air that is going inside us. So it is very dangerous. Many airborne diseases are there transmitted through air. Viruses, bacteria, COVID-19 virus, common cold virus, influenza virus, tuberculosis TB bacteria, chickenpox virus. Now what we can do to keep the air clean? First, clean our surrounding. Plant trees. Healthy forest help to maintain clean air. If you have vehicles, maintain it well, test it regularly. Public transport should be used more often. If you are going nearby, walk. Don't use vehicles. Don't use car. If the place is nearby, walk. That is good for your health. You start exercising with it. Many of us just come home and sit, go to school and sit. We don't have exercise much. So it's good to walk. Then government should pass laws so that industries do not release harmful gases. This is what the government should do. Avoid doing activities that produce smoke. Stop burning chemicals, things. Carbon dioxide gas and other chemicals that can cause diseases such as cancer. Switch off the lights and fans when not needed. Remember, the electricity that you use is produced by burning coal. So when you save electricity, actually you are saving the environment. So power plants will less harmful gases in the air. Stop burning garbage. It is better to recycle or compost the waste. So lockdown period in COVID-19 pandemic led to reduced traffic. That led to vast improvement in the air quality in the world. Now life skill, germs spread through air when we cough or sneeze. It's important to cover our mouth and nose. We must not spit in public places, otherwise it could spread diseases like tuberculosis. Now this is a recap, observe it. Properties of air, composition and uses and pollution. Keywords, humidity, the amount of water vapor in the air, breathing, that is a process of taking in and giving out air. Airborne diseases, diseases that spread through air. So here is the exercise, true or false. You can go through it, have a look at it, try to solve it. Now you can tick the correct options here. More questions for you. Pause the video and observe them. Try to solve these questions, short answers. And these are the long answer questions. Okay, thank you very much.